one YouTube channel for all things travel. Today, I want to address the issue of missing out on lucrative visa-sponsored jobs abroad because of one simple thing. So I want to address a comment I received about my recent trip to Mogadishu, Somalia. Someone mentioned that life going there. So let's dive into the topic and debunk some common myths, some common misconceptions that a lot of people are holding on to and missing out on opportunities abroad. So guys, you know your ticket for staying onto this video. Please do say hello in the comment section below and let me know where you are watching me from. So if you are seeing my face for the first time, my name is Eva Mtali, and here we talk mostly about visa-sponsored jobs that allow you to move outside of your home country and without the needing an agent or to pay for anything. I also talk about opportunities to move abroad for leisure, like so if I find like cheap, affordable tickets, I share them with you guys here. I also bring people onto the channel to share their stories of how they have moved abroad, what pathways they used, and just to encourage some of you. We also talk about those who are working in different parts outside of their own country. So if any of those topics are exciting to you, you want to stick around. So guys, thank you so much for those who are saying hello in the comment section there. I see you. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And I'm going to come back to you right back at the end of this video. So guys, for those who might be seeing my face for the first time, I am blessed to work in Somalia. That is where I make my daily bread. So when I am not here creating content, I am serving the beautiful, wonderful people of Somalia. And every time I am in the country, I share with you guys my life. I share with you my trips to Mogadishu. I show you the food that I eat, and basically I take you around. So most recently, I did a video, and one of you was brave enough to come to the comment section and display their ignorance. So let me see if I can find the exact comment so that you guys don't come for me in the comments section. So I want to read verbatim. And one thing I love about people who are courageous is because they always give us something to talk about. And for us, we believe that every opportunity to learn, we are gonna grab it. So here is the comment. I don't know, you guys, my phone is so ugly. Maybe we should read it together. Don't mind that's why I tell you guys please watch all the adverts so that I can buy a new phone. So you can see here, it says, this lady says, there's no government in Somalia. Even if it's there, it's not effective. But why risk your life? There's no government in Somalia. Even if it's there, it's not effective. But why risk your life? Okay. So that is a comment that was made less than a week ago from the shooting of this video. And I felt it was important to address two issues in that comment. So first of all, this person claims there is no government in Somalia. And then number two, they are even questioning why I would risk my life going there. So I wish I could say more, but I will not say more in this video other than to say Somalia has a government. It is functional, and I am speaking from a point of authority, so I know what I'm talking about. I wish I could say more, but I will not say more. So just for the record, and that's why, guys, I always encourage you, don't listen to everything that you see on mainstream media, okay? Thank God, in this day and age, we have vloggers, we have people like myself who actually show you, like, let me tell you, one of the greatest things that shocked me about Somalia, the first time I visited Mogadishu, I knew the coastline of Somalia was big because I would see it on the map. But seeing it in person, like you're literally in the air and you're going for miles and miles and miles in the air and you're just over water. That blew my mind. I knew Somalia has the longest coastline in the world, but I could not wrap my head around what that means until when I visited Mogadishu. So guys, I encourage you, if God gives you life, please try and travel outside of your home country. And you don't have to go to America. Start with your own country. Start with your continent and learn, okay? Because the moment you travel, you get exposed and you do not spew ignorance on the internet. In fact, a quick Google search would have saved this lady to know that Somalia has a government, they actually have a president, they have stuff that is happening in the country. So don't listen to mainstream media. That's what I can say. Don't just believe everything the media tells you. And I'll give you an example. When my very first expatriate job, those who follow me here, you know that, my very first job outside my country was in Kabul, Afghanistan. And back in the day, we didn't have like YouTube channels and TikTok and Instagram where you would actually see what is happening in this country. So all we had was BBC, and I think it was Deutsche Welle News, and I don't even know if CNN was there back then. So that's all we knew about this country. So the only part of Afghanistan they used to show us is a dry country that is constantly in war. That's the only part they showed us. So when I was going there, I knew I was going to this really tough country, very rough people. But guys, I can tell you, my 3 years in Afghanistan were the best years of my life, and I'm not even joking. So first of all, this is the one country where I first saw snow with my eyes. You guys, do you know there's snow in Afghanistan? And it is such heavy snow that literally the country, half the country is cut off from Kabul, which is the capital. And the snow sometimes goes even up to 3 feet high. I have never, not even in Europe, I've never seen such amounts of snow. The only other place I saw such amounts of snow is on Mount Kilimanjaro, like that tall level of snow. It was in Afghanistan that I first saw open air, what do they call them? Open air exchange bureaus. You see, like in Kenya, the way we have bureaus and they're guarded and blah, 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 and those people are behind the counters, you can't even see them. In Afghanistan, in fact, I'm gonna look for a picture and I'll post in the community tab of the bureaus. They literally, you know, the way, if anybody who's watching me from Kenya, you must have seen the way we have, like if you go to an open air market like Gikomba or Toi, you see the way they pile clothes on the ground. That's how the bureaus in Afghanistan are. They literally pile notes, and it would be euros and British pounds and US dollars, crisp notes. They just put them they would put like a cloth and put them on the ground, and you just come and exchange. And nobody steals. Like we were there for like 3 years. I never closed my door. Nobody steals in Afghanistan whatsoever. There's no theft in Afghanistan. I don't think they have prisons. I don't remember seeing any prisons in Afghanistan. Security top notch. The bureaus are there, and then the food, oh my God, somebody take me back. There's our chef, Coco Amin, how I miss that guy, Coco Amin. Used to make such delicious meals, especially the Kabuli pilau. Oh my goodness. And then the grapes that are in Afghanistan, you eat Afghani grapes, you will never ever eat grapes even from South Africa. They are so tasty and juicy and big. I remember our entire car park, the roof of the car park was made of grape, you know, like the grapevines. And we had all colors of grapes, all apples, sweet apples, and they're all organic. We had pears, We had, and you can't even compare with these nasty things we see on the streets of Nairobi. Fruits, plums, like it was, for me, it was like the Garden of Eden being in Afghanistan. Like every time you forgot there was the Taliban, and then the people were so kind, so amazing. They loved my son so much. He was like the only black kid, I think, in Afghanistan at the time. He was about a year and a half. And they really, really used to love him so much. So, yeah. So, guys, don't listen to everything you see on mainstream media. Like, there's so much I can say about Afghanistan, but that's for another video. So, now let's talk about the continent, yeah? So it's unfortunate that most of the things that we see about our continent are these bad things, and they make us always even forget that and I've talked about this previously, about the opportunities in the continent. Africa is full of opportunities just waiting to be explored, okay? So you will find, for example, and just look around. And that's why I keep saying, you guys, you need to travel. Like, get on a flight from Dubai, for example, to Kenya, or from London to Kenya, or from Frankfurt, and you will realize half of that plane is full of vanilla people. Have you ever asked yourself, where are all these vanilla people going? So you might not have an answer for that if you don't travel often. I travel often. And like I told you in my last video, I like to talk to people, because there's no way I'm going to be sitting next to you for 14 hours and not benefit from sitting next to you, okay? So you will notice that more than half of those flights are full of people who are not coming for vacation to Africa. They are coming to work. Have you ever asked yourself why somebody would leave the comfort of Europe, the comfort of America, the comfort of Canada, to come and work in a dangerous country that doesn't even have a government? Have you ever asked yourself? Yeah? It's because of the opportunities. And I will tell you for free, I'm not even just talking about opportunity. I'm talking about the monetary opportunities. Those so-called dangerous countries, that is where the money is. I will tell you. Ukitaka kuomoka, look for work. I'm telling you, you will make so much more money than someone who is in Europe, who is in Canada, and you'll work for less than somebody. Somebody has to work twice as hard as you in Europe and the US and Canada to make half of what you're going to make in these so-called dangerous countries, okay? So, as I've said, Africa is full of opportunities. Don't be blinded by being so concerned about going to Europe and Canada and wherever else, in Australia, that you miss out on the opportunities in Africa. I've told you, I personally, you guys, if you're following me enough, you've seen all my visas for all these countries, but I choose to work in Somalia for a reason, okay? And then point number 2 is career growth. Yeah? So working in these diverse environments like Somalia and Sudan and the Congo can accelerate significantly your career growth, because it literally challenges you. Let me tell you, most people who know me personally think I live a very carefree life. And it doesn't stem from the air. It stemmed from my life in Afghanistan. Like, you know, the way, for those of you who are believers, the Bible always says that like Jesus could come anytime. You should always be prepared and blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you, when you live in an environment like Somalia or Afghanistan or all those so-called dangerous places, you literally live a day at a time. And guys, I cannot tell you the beauty and the freedom that comes with living a day at a time. You do not leave anything to chance. You don't even have the energy to keep relationships that are not working, to keep people in your spaces that aren't adding value to your life, because you're literally living a day at a time. Like, literally, okay? So The advantage of being in those so-called dangerous environments is that they challenge you, they push you out of your comfort zone. And remember, that's where greatness starts. You know, they always say greatness begins outside of your comfort zone. You grow as a person, like the world just becomes your oyster. Yeah. And it opens doors to new possibilities. Guys, when others are there saying, oh, you know, we've seen like in job description, they say, oh, we want somebody who is open to, can work under challenging environments. You don't have to explain to nobody when you have experience from Somalia and Afghanistan. You don't have to explain nothing because they already believe how it's so tough to be there, that when somebody is trying to explain in their CV that, oh, can you please explain when you've worked in a challenge, you don't even have to explain. It's a given, actually, just by virtue of being in these areas. And then point number 3 is a cultural exposure. Yeah, so one of the greatest benefits of traveling and working in different countries is the cultural exposure it gives you. Like, you know, there's already this stereotype the media has given you about how a certain kind of people look like and how they behave and how you should treat them. But when you experience them yourself, it just broadens your perspective. It also fosters empathy. So let me give you an example. Like, and I've talked about this one before. So like when we were in Afghanistan, we used to have a total combined 2 hours of electricity per month. Combined, like if you added all the minutes and hours we had electricity, maximum it would come to 2 hours in a month. I'm not talking about a week, I'm not talking about a day, 2 hours in a month. And in winter, it was tough. It was tough being a woman, an Afghani woman in winter, because imagine you have like 2 hours of electricity in a month. So if you're working for an NGO, you're fortunate because your NGO would have a generator. And then if you're slightly richer as an Afghan, you would have what they used to have a bokori. Bokori was a fuel. No, it was a gas. Was it fuel or gas? I don't remember if it was gas or paraffin. A heater that uses paraffin or gas. So that's what you have to rely on. And the winter was so harsh, would have winter for like 6 months in a row. Forget about this European winter of 3 months. We would have winter for like 6 months in a row. And woe unto you if you are a woman and you are pregnant in winter and your due date is in winter, because you would have to stay outside in freezing single-digit weather, sometimes minus, and deliver. And what would happen is that they would tie a rope on your leg, and then what you're supposed to do is once you've safely delivered, you pull that rope so that you signal the people in the home that, okay, I'm done. And then, of course, because of the history that Afghanistan has had, we didn't have that many doctors. So a lot of the doctors we used to have in Afghanistan were from different parts of, they were not Afghanis, like the gynecologists and all that. And you know, the culture that the Islam that is practiced there doesn't allow women to mix with men that are not their relatives. So you can imagine, you are a woman, you need medical services, but there's no female doctor. And you cannot go to the male doctor because culture doesn't allow you. So such basic things, for example, it made it so difficult for, like, I could not even allow myself to be sick because I knew if I become sick, I'll have to fly to Kabul, not to Kabul, fly to Dubai to get medical help. So just that thought alone of not having good medical care would not even allow me to get sick. You know, like the things, you know, here you can, like, you know, in Nairobi, you can decide to eat how you want because, you know, if you become sick, you'll rush to Nairobi Hospital or to Aga Khan. We don't have that luxury in these countries, these so-called risky countries. So it forces you to live a good lifestyle. And that's why you usually see, if you see me like when I'm in Mogadishu, I always show you what I eat. I practice intermittent fasting. I try to eat a healthy meal. I try not to overeat and just I work out. I try to just live like a healthy life, as much as is in my power, something I would not bother. I would probably, but I don't think I would take it as seriously if I had the luxuries of being in a place like Nairobi, for example. Yeah. So it forces you to empathize with people. You know, those little things you complain about. Oh, the electricity goes out for like an hour and you're cussing your heart out. For me, like those are things that don't even bother me. Like even when I'm buying clothes, I have like maybe one or two clothes that need ironing because I got so used to not having electricity for 3 years in Afghanistan that it doesn't even, like if the power is like, even right now we're in the middle of a live and the power decides to go off, doesn't bother me one bit. I'm like, okay, you're gone, sour, I'll find something else to do with my time. While there are people who literally get high blood pressure because the power went out. You know what I mean? Because they've never known the other side, you know? So that's one other than the cultural exposure, you learn to, it broadens your perspective, fosters empathy, and it just enriches your life in ways you can't imagine. So something else that actually shocked me, I remember when I was in Afghanistan, and so my baby, when we went, he was like a year and a half. So when we got an Afghani house girl, and she would wash my child like 5 times every day. And so because in the summer it used to get really hot and we arrived in the summer, so I used to think that maybe the baby is sweating, so she's like just trying to, like manage the baby. And I was shocked that one day the reason why she kept washing my baby is because she thought my baby was dirty. Because I asked somebody, I was just sharing with somebody else, and they said no, she's, because my nanny had never seen an African person. Like I was the first African person she had ever interacted with in her life. And when she saw my baby, she thought my baby was dirty, because in Afghanistan they don't wash the baby the first year of birth because they think they're gonna mess the baby's skin. So when she saw my baby, a black baby, she thought that maybe in Africa we kept the babies for like 3 years without washing them, because for them they keep them like for a whole year, the baby's not washed. Because they're like, the baby doesn't get dirty, the baby's not walking. How is the baby getting dirty? Yeah, so like you just change the pamper and clean him up. So he washed my baby because he thought my baby was really dirty. So I am glad that I went to Afghanistan when I did, because she actually understood that in the other side of the world, there are black people, and this melanin, this is just who we are. So I thank God, because I gave somebody else an opportunity to see another side of a human being that she probably would never have ever met before. And then I'm even so glad, like my nanny, we stayed here for 3 years, and I taught her how to read and write in the local dialect. By the way, I learned Dari in 3 weeks because I had to leave instructions. So that's another thing. I had to learn a new language quickly, fast, and I had the privilege, the pleasure of teaching somebody else to read and write. She probably would never have ever learned how to do any of those. And then now let's talk about the networking opportunities that come with working in this country. So one interesting thing about these countries is that, so let's say in Kenya, you can work for, I don't know, 20 years. Like you work in Nairobi, then you can work in Kisumu, then Mombasa, and never meet anybody you have worked with before, unless you work in the same organization. But the interesting thing about so by the way, most of the jobs you're going to be doing in these countries are with NGOs, which pay very lucrative amounts of money. I already did a whole video about that. You can go and watch it. You will find yourself like, when I was in Kabul, the people because again, in such places, you have such a close-knit community of expatriates. So the people I met in Afghanistan, when I went to Haiti, I met them, or I met people who knew them. When I came to northern Uganda, I met the same people. When I'm in Somalia, I meet the same, because it's just the same kind of people going around, because a lot of people don't want to come into this space. So it's the same people going around the different countries. And what that means is that there are a lot of opportunities for networking. So you can imagine if you refuse to visit or go to these countries or take up these opportunities because you think they're dangerous, you're literally missing out on networking opportunities you could have had by working internationally. and building global connections that can lead you to exciting collaborations and, even career advancements. Yeah. And then in terms of Somalia, like I've just said, that contrary to what some people believe, not even just Somalia, all these other countries, as much as what you see in the media, like, oh, these people don't have a government, life must be so harsh. Let me tell you, while I was, oh, there's a mosquito here. While I was in Mogadishu, I, like, it broke my heart every time I saw those WhatsApp messages that people forward, and there's like, I don't know, 20 people dead in Maimahiu. I don't know, 45 died. I don't know which landslide where, and I don't know how many have been washed away by water where, and how many have been washed away. And I'm like, somebody in Kenya is literally making this comment when I am worried about what is happening. I'm in Mogadishu, and everybody in Mogadishu is worried about Kenya. Like, everybody I meet is like, oh, I hope your family is safe. Oh, I hope your family is safe. Every Somali I meet, they're like, oh my God, I hope, oh, we saw in the news this thing about Kenya. So guys, what I'm trying to say is that every country has its challenges. Yeah. And I remember when I was working in Haiti, and then I would come for R&R. So this time, that was way back in maybe 2013, I think. So one time I was coming for vacation to Kenya. So the way they give you those travel alerts and blah, blah, blah. And our guy who was in charge of security called you. Like, before you leave the country, they give you like a security brief of what you're allowed to do, what you can't do, blah, blah, blah. So he said, okay, you said you're going for vacation to Kenya. These are the places you cannot visit. And you will not believe the places he gave me. He told me you cannot visit Village Market. Guys. And I'm like, why? He's like, no, we have security. That was way back in 2012. Oh, you cannot visit Village Market. You cannot visit this. And I'm thinking, so if I can't visit Village Market, which is literally in the backyard of the UN, then where is safe in Kenya? You know what I mean? And he's like, no, you can't. We have alerts here. Oh, you can't visit this place. And I'm thinking, so if Gigiri is unsafe, if Westlands is unsafe, then what about Eastlands? Where I'm going to land? Like, the airport is in Eastlands. How? And I was just like, oh my God, I wish you knew what you're talking about. So it's always important to remember that every country has its challenges. Just the other day, I was reading about some gun something in one of the states in the US, Paris, France. Currently, they're dealing with a bedbug menace. Like, the city is in trouble because of bedbugs. Can you believe it, guys? Bedbugs in Paris. Google it, it's there. There's a bedbug menace in Paris, but I have yet to see anybody who goes to the comment section, oh my God, I don't believe you're in Paris and there's bedbugs. Some of you literally break legs if they had that visas were being issued for Paris today, in spite of the bedbugs. But you don't want to go next door here because of whatever. We have floods in Nairobi. Right now, as we are talking, people are literally dead. Not even Nairobi, like the whole of Kenya is flooded. But nobody's asking anybody, why are you risking your life staying in Nairobi? Insecurity, we can't even describe the amount of insecurity in this country. Like, it's something else. So these are just a few examples to tell you that there are challenges everywhere. So you go where the money is. You know what I mean? And then let's talk about financial security. So this one is the one which always just blows my mind. Like, every time I share an opportunity, oh, there's this conference here, oh, there's these jobs in Finland, oh, there are these jobs in Canada, oh, there are these jobs in Australia. Somebody has not even, they don't even have a passport. They're very busy, keyboard warriors. Oh, Eva, can I go with my family? Others have not even submitted the application. Oh, does this job allow me to move with my family? And I'm asking myself, see, you even apply for the job faster to get it. You're already thinking of, can I move with my family? While, as you're busy typing that question, you guys slept hungry at lunchtime. So would you rather continue sleeping hungry in your country just because there's no opportunity for you to move with your people to a country with opportunities? Like, guys, let's stop putting, they say putting the ox ahead of the cat. No, the cat ahead of the ox. I don't know which one. You guys know what I'm talking about. So those are some of the issues. Like, let us make informed decisions that lead to lasting success. Like, I can't tell you the number of women, some of them are single mothers, who have left their kids in Kenya to go and rough it up in Saudi. Hats off to you, my ladies, if you're watching. They are sacrificing for their children. While you're busy here, you haven't even applied. You don't even have a passport. You don't even have a Form 4 certificate, but you're here asking, oh, does this opportunity allow me to? You get the job first and then ask your employer if they. I went with my child to Afghanistan, 2009. He was 1.5 years old. He's now an adult boy. We are here to tell the story. Okay, everything is possible. And then the other reason why I would encourage you to consider these opportunities, however dangerous they might seem, is because it gives, like, I think it's just fair for these countries when we have more than one person who is telling the other side of the story. Yeah. Independent journalism, like, for example, what I do with the blogs, if somebody else is also sharing their story, and alternative media play a very critical role in presenting a balanced view of different regions. Yeah. So we are not just gonna leave CNN and BBC and Al Jazeera to drive the narrative of how our African countries should look like or are. And the only way we can do that is by having a lot more of us going to tell our own stories. You know what I mean? So it's important to consider diverse perspectives before forming opinions. So make sure that you are not blindly exposing your ignorance on the internet when you could have taken up an opportunity to be the voice of reason. Remember, narratives are very, very powerful. They are very, very powerful tools that can be used either for or against, to build or to destroy. So let us be very, very careful, yeah? And the only way we can be careful is when we have the facts in our hands. We are speaking from a first-hand point of view. And then I already talked about the lucrative NGO jobs that are there in these so-called dangerous countries, and they pay very well in foreign currency. And like we said, a dollar is a dollar, irrespective of how it was earned. Okay, I mean, as long as it was a legitimate way or where it was earned. If I have US dollar in Kenya, and you have US dollar in Kenya, I mean in the US, it's still US dollar. If I have a euro in Somalia and you have a euro in Europe, it's still a euro, yeah? So guys, don't let these lucrative NGO jobs pass you by. It's so unfortunate that many of these opportunities are overlooked by us chocolate people due to kuuziwa uoga. In Kenya we say umeuziwa uoga. You know, these fear-based narratives. And as a result, you're going to find the vanilla people are prioritized because they are the ones who, they don't have fear for them. You know, for us, it's so unfortunate because of our past. We have a lot of trauma and we have a lot of fear that is negatively impacting us. And like I always say, fear is the lowest form of vibration. And it is the one thing that has stopped a lot of us from pursuing opportunities that could have changed our lives around. It is time for us to change these narratives and to tap into the vast potential right here in the continent, even as we look to pursue those other opportunities outside of the continent. So that's what I wanted to address today. And Wamboy, don't take this personally. I'm glad you asked that question. You just gave me a topic to talk about. So usually we make sure that we have a live at least on the first day of the month and the last day of the month. And I am so glad that because of Wamboy, we got a topic to discuss today. So thank you very much. Yeah, so I'm gonna quickly read your comments and then I will close. I don't want to keep this for too long. So Prince Fiadzige, hi, how are you? From Accra. Oh, he says you are doing amazing. Thank you so much. Love you right back. Tamir, hi, how are you? From Tanzania. Bulsani Ndlovu from Zimbabwe, hi. Prince is asking, how does what anyone choose to do with their life concern some people? Oh yes, yeah, you saw my response to them. I told them what I do with my life is my business as long as I'm harming no one. Hi Roslyn, how are you guys? Roslyn is a YouTuber. Please go and show her some love. Roslyn brought her sister and she shared with us some good news right here on the channel. Please go and subscribe to her channel, watch her videos, give her some support, show her some love. Hida is saying hi. Tamir is saying, umefika hadi Kabul. Yes, Tamir, Kabul was my first international job. No regrets. Yani Kabul catapulted my life financially. It like Kabul just changed my whole life. Like I started traveling because of the money from Kabul. It was very good money. I will not even pretend. Take me back. I should probably go back to Kabul. In fact, I'm going to start looking for a job in Kabul soon. Wacha mtoto wangu amalize form 4. As soon as my kid finishes high school, in 1 year's time, I'll try and get another job in Kabul so I can now vlog for you guys nicely. Somebody's asking, where are the rural areas of Canada, please? Oh, Uguru. So many, we have done so many videos about rural Canada. Just go to up there on my YouTube channel. There's a place written playlists. Select Canada. You will find all the videos about rural Canada. Entertainment. Canada without a geolocation. I don't understand. Please ask your question nicely. I can't understand. Nadunga Harriet. Hey Eva, can a senior 4 certificate qualify for a job in rural Canada? Which jobs and how can I apply? Yes, you can. Please go to the Canada playlists. We have so many opportunities there. Just go and watch the video that I think applies to you. Harriet is from Uganda. The Great. Hello, I'm trying to apply for camp counselor. Oh, all the best. Guys, looks like we don't have any more comments. So if you joined the live late, please just swipe to the left and you can watch from the beginning. I hope this video was helpful to somebody. Please share. And if you haven't given the video a thumbs up, please. It's free. It helps the algorithms to know that there's good stuff happening here, and it helps to motivate me. So thank you so much, guys. Tomorrow we begin a new month, and it is a bank holiday in most countries around the world. So if you celebrate Labor Day, happy Labor Day, my people. I wish you last month on fast was a holiday. To this month on fast is a holiday. So happy Labor Day. Have a rested one, and happy month. May is my birthday month. Please, can the gifts start coming? The gifts start coming, please. May is my birthday month, so I'm accepting gifts. If you need my M-Pesa money to send me money, send me a message on ivamtali@gmail.com. You can send me on PayPal. Okay? Okay, so bye guys.